It's time. Time to get credit for the work you've done. Time to get the recognition you deserve. With Purdue Global, you can move forward in your career, for your family, and for yourself. You're worth the investment in yourself to earn a degree you're proud of, a degree that employers will respect. Purdue's online university is designed to support working adults like you who know it's never too late to accomplish your goals. It's never too late to make a comeback. It's time to start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. It's a special thing to be a member of Navy Federal because they are a member-owned, not-for-profit credit union that invests in its members with amazing rates and low fees. That's why members could earn and save more every year. Plus, they serve all branches of the armed forces, veterans, and their families. So if you're interested in becoming a member, learn more at NavyFederal.org. At Navy Federal Credit Union, our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Episode 345, Ways ChatGPT Can Save You Money.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And we have a really fun episode today. Before the robots take over, we want to use them to save money, and we wanted to devote an entire episode to it. So this is very timely. Nobody knows when the robots are coming, when they will become sentient.
It may already have happened, but we can still benefit.
By the time we release this, right. But before they come for you, you can be using them to save money. And that's what we're talking about today.
Yes. I'm excited about this because I learned as we prepared this episode. So hopefully you'll learn too.
Yes. But first, this episode is not brought to you by your robot overlords. It's actually brought to you by debating about whether Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. This hotly debated topic is probably all you've been hearing about for the past month. The economy, sure, whatever. Stocks, the weather.
They're there.
You know.
They're always there.
They're always there. But this is the time of year when you come back to your family and you ask, is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie? And if you're looking to lose friends, this is how you do it. Or if you're looking to strengthen relationships, this is also how you do it. So
love that.
If you think The Nightmare Before Christmas is both a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, turn your computer off, turn your phone off, get out of here. I'm just kidding. I actually do think both of them. I think it's both. And that's what I've been told. So you're in a safe space if you think it's both. If you have a strong opinion on whether this is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, then you should get a high yield savings account because you probably already, you might need another one if you like to divide movies so strictly. So maybe you probably have 18 high yield savings accounts. What's another? CIT is currently offering the highest APY that we like right now. No minimum balance, only $100 to open, no hoops to jump through to get that APY over 4%. It's beautiful. You can go to frugalfriendspodcast.com/CIT to open one more high yield savings account. This is for you if you like to subdivide, divide, and just really compartmentalize all of your money and your movies this strictly.
Wow. I don't think I understood the connection and really until 1 second ago.
Yeah.
You did it. It was a stretch, but really everyone should have a high yield savings account. So CIT.
And everyone should have an opinion on The Nightmare Before Christmas. And it doesn't have to be that it's either or. It can be both and.
You're going to hate what's about to come out of my mouth. I've never seen Nightmare Before Christmas.
This is the only reason that you can get out.
Opinion.
You can just turn off, like, if you're offended by that, I totally understand if you leave right now. That's fine. It's totally fine.
I'm so sorry. I've heard of it. I've just never seen it.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Okay.
And if you're like me, you too should have a high yield savings account.
Wow.
Head to frugalfriendspodcast.com/CIT.
If you haven't been totally turned off of this podcast, wow, good for you. Welcome. Love
The bots
you.
are taking over because of me.
We have some other episodes on how to save money, like 344 of them. If I had to pull one out of a hat right now that might be good to queue up after this one is maybe how to save money on monthly bills. That's episode 265. But honestly, there's so many. Just scroll. But let's get into our headlines. We love to scour the internet to see what it's saying about money saving topics, to see if they're right, test them out, and if it's fluff or if it's actually helpful advice. And so our very first article comes from cheapism.com. Don't judge it by its name.
Mm-hmm. I almost did. I kind of did.
I know, right? But it's a good blog. From cheap flights to financial advice, here's how to save money with ChatGPT. Jill, had you heard of ChatGPT before we researched this episode?
Oh, yes, I had. I have heard of ChatGPT, but I, full disclosure, did not know as much about it as many others who are alive and an adult until like the past 6 to 8 months. I know it's been around longer than that.
Not much.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, not
people
much.
were talking about AI and ChatGPT before, but definitely a little before I got on the bandwagon. And my first introduction with ChatGPT was actually in a course that I'm an adjunct professor at a university. And one of the students that I teach submitted a paper that was apparently written by ChatGPT. And so I didn't even have a ChatGPT account yet, had just heard about it. But that was actually my first introduction, was with academic dishonesty within the higher education space, which was a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie, put a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. However, I'm learning, just like the internet, to recognize the good with the bad. But here we go. For those who may be like me and haven't seen Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe you don't know what ChatGPT is. It's AI, it's artificial intelligence, and essentially an AI chatbot. And you can ask it all sorts of questions, and it will immediately regurgitate a response, which is super helpful. And we can use it like a personal assistant. So I think this article was helpful for me in kind of just framing all of the possibilities. We're not even going to go through an exhaustive list in this episode, but I think getting the wheels of brainstorming turning of how can we use it? What are the specifics? What are the themes and topics that we can be asking it about? And then how can we be asking it these things? But first of all, this article we're going to use to give us just a general sense of how can we treat it like a personal assistant? What categories can ChatGPT be helpful with when it comes to our finances?
Yes. So let's get started. The first thing that ChatGPT can help you with, and you might have heard this is a big one, is meal plans. So you can tell ChatGPT how much you have to spend for the week, what you want to eat, and even how many people you want to feed. And it can come up with a quote unquote cheap meal plan is what it says. This is the prompt they used. I'd like to spend $80 for 6 meals for 2 people. 3 meals should be breakfast. 3 should be lunch. I'd like one of the dishes to feature whale meat. Will you build me a shopping list? And it says, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I cannot provide a shopping list that includes whale meat as it is illegal to sell or purchase. But then it does come up with 6 breakfast options, and it caps the picture at lunch, but it didn't come up with like amounts, but it, says eggs, bread, bacon, butter. So more of like a shopping list, I would say. But that was hilarious.
They basically are highlighting not to sneak any illegal ingredients in there because it's not going to help you there, but it's an odd one to choose.
Yeah. It also put in, I'd like to spend $100 less each month. What are some easy ways to cut back on spending? Well, that's for the next one. But ChatGPT cannot scour actual websites. It's only using the information that's already been put into it, which is a lot of information from a lot of websites. But if you ask it to look at, like, make a Walmart shopping list for me, that's $100. It's not going to be able to do that because it can't currently look at Walmart's, like, shopping portal today.
But yeah, stay tuned.
Right.
Who knows by the time.
So the kind of meal plan it's going to give you is going to be kind of vague. But what I like is I know people have, and I don't think this is further down, but no, it's not. People are taking pictures of what they have in their fridge and saying, what can I make for dinner based on what I have in my fridge? And so
I love that
ChatGPT
one.
will look at the ingredients and create recipes from its archive of, recipes on the internet that have already been put in there. And you can use that in your meal plan. And so I would think that that is probably more beneficial than saying, I'd like to spend $80 for 6 meals for 2 people. If you can put in actual ingredients, even amounts, then it can formulate different recipes for your meal plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so much, and we'll get to this a little bit later in the episode, has to do with the prompts that we're giving ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to how we Google things, what is the best search function words to utilize when you're Googling something? It's the same thing with ChatGPT. There can be really well curated prompts that are going to give you the exact response and answer you want. And there are some prompts that might be a little bit more sloppy and it's not going to produce as much level of efficiency or benefit to you. So that is going to be a skill for us to hone in time, is really that's where the human skill set comes into play with AI, is what are we submitting to it as a prompt to be able to get the most out of the response. So the second thing on this list, a category that we can use it to save money in, is budgeting strategies. So we can ask ChatGPT to help us in various types of budgeting and creating a spending plan. For instance, you could tell ChatGPT what you normally spend money on, how much you'd like to save. You can input any other financial goals, and it's going to spit back out to you an idea of what you might be able to implement. So for instance, I think you read this one already, Jen, but one of the examples they give is a prompt that someone submitted to ChatGPT that says, I would like to spend $100 less each month. What are some of the ways that I can cut back on my spending? And it immediately lists out 5 different ways, from cooking at home to buying in bulk to reducing energy usage. One of the things I'll add too, now that I do have a ChatGPT account, is you can click that regenerate response button and it will almost redo the prompt and give you another list. If you don't like the things that are on the current list, you can just click it again or try modifying your prompt to get even better answers or a more comprehensive response from the platform.
Yeah, I think something to note too is that ChatGPT is kind of taking the place of Google. It is really just summarizing all of this stuff on the first page of Google. So whether it's doable, feasible, whether the squeeze is worth the juice, it doesn't tell you that. It's literally regurgitating what's already there, which is great because it takes time to, if you're searching for something, it takes time to go through all those articles and realize that they're all saying the same thing. Whereas you can search in ChatGPT and it just writes it out for you. It basically summarizes the internet. I love it for that time-saving aspect. So what I don't love is that a lot of the stuff on the front page of Google is just so generic and is said over and over and over. So you're not going to get, if you're looking for brand new, groundbreaking advice, ChatGPT is not where you're going to find it. So you kind of have to go into it knowing that if you're asking it for budgeting help, then you're going to get kind of like the same old stuff if you've been doing this for a while. If you're brand new, or maybe you are practicing stuff, but you're still getting the hang of it and it's good to have a refresher on the basics, then ChatGPT can be really useful in that sense. So the next way, this is, we say with a grain of salt, is investment advice. And we just wanted to say this before somebody on TikTok says it. You shouldn't be getting like your big picture investment advice or specific investment advice from ChatGPT, but it's not going to actually give you any advice that's illegal. So that's nice. And you shouldn't be really taking it from anyone who's not a fiduciary certified financial planner. But the example that they give, the prompt they use is, what are the best times to, oh gosh, I'm looking at the pictures after. It doesn't have it. Doesn't have, yeah. But it says, I lost a lot of money due to a bad investment in something called Zeppelins. What are some smart things to invest in this year? What are even Zeppelins? I don't know. Idea. I think maybe they're just making it up. And then ChatGPT says, I'm sorry to hear about your bad investment. It's important to do thorough research and seek professional advice before making any investment decisions. Here are some general investment ideas that may be worth considering. And these are all like solid things that you'd, again, hear from all over the internet. Index funds, ETFs, real estate, and then technology and healthcare, which you can find index funds and ETFs for technology and healthcare and real estate. So yeah, if you are new to investing, and I think, so this is the point I want to make on investment advice. Sometimes influencers and experts can give investment advice that is very confusing. We're using jargon and people don't even realize they're using jargon because they've been using it for so long. So ChatGPT has this cool feature that you can ask them about, like what's an index fund or what's a 401k or any of these questions. And if you don't understand the answer, you can add, explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader.
Yes.
Explain 401ks to me like I'm a fifth grader. And it will, I guess, like not dumb it down, but it'll make it, it'll explain it more expansively. Yeah. So this is super useful, not just for investment advice, but any time where jargon is used and you don't understand what people are saying. You can go to ChatGPT and, ask it to explain X like I'm a fifth grader or like I'm in elementary school or something like that.
And I'm just going to have that prompt copy and pasted always and forever.
Yes.
Explain everything to me as if I am still 12 years old. The next thing on here, the category that we can use ChatGPT for, is travel itineraries. So everything from travel ideas to where you could find last-minute flight deals to inexpensive restaurants, ChatGPT can compile all of those details. You can give it the prompt of dates, maybe location, even how much you want to spend, everything that you need, types of food you might be interested in. They give an example of somebody going to Tokyo and wanting an authentic Mexican restaurant in Tokyo. And ChatGPT gave a response of a couple of different recommendations of Mexican cuisine that could be found in Tokyo with high ratings. So while it is like Google, we can make it much more highly individualized and take out the timing that it can take us in searching all of the different articles based on our prompt. This is curating a response for the specific questions you have. Again, like you said, Jen, nothing's going to be groundbreaking, earth-shattering, but you can really make it individualized to you, which I think is fantastic.
Yes. And so the last one that I will mention says social media assistance. And I think this is mostly for like business owners, small business owners. It's saying, I love these prompts that they're giving it. Kudos to the author. What are the best times to post on Instagram to promote my business? I sell handmade slippers sourced from lettuce I found behind the dumpster of my Taco Bell.
We especially like that prompt.
And you know what? ChatGPT does not judge. You can ask ChatGPT anything, and ChatGPT just responds like they do. He, she, it does not judge you. And it just gives the author the best times to post on social media. And then also follows up with analyze your audience to see when they're most active on the platform or what they most likely want. They want lettuce slippers. I would say
From Taco Bell.
Right. So another thing you could do is you can use it kind of to source, kind of to curate your feed on your Instagram or your TikTok. So I was typing in a few different prompts. So I tried, what are the personal finance influencers to follow? And it gave me a list of 12 of them. And they're all the big ones that you've definitely heard of. And
Frugal
then I tried again, like
Frugal Friends showed up on that list twice, actually.
not on this time.
Just kidding.
But here's something fun. I followed it up with best budgeting influencers. I didn't try any other ways. I just wanted to keep it broad. And it gave me other influencers that are also big, but not as big. And, you know, she didn't make the top 10, but coming in at number 11 is Modern Frugality, which is me.
That is you. Look at you, Jen Smith.
I know. I did not anticipate that, actually. I just was trying out things. But so if you are feeling like maybe you want a little bit more retirement content or investing or meal prep, freezer meals, whatever your goal is right now for saving money or spending wiser, get really granular with ChatGPT, because the broader you go, you're getting answers like Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Ramit Sethi, you know, like nobody knew. But when you get granular, I'm sure budgeting for groceries, we'd get a whole new group. And you can always do regenerate to get more recommendations. But I really love the use of social media for motivation, encouragement, just curating a feed on social media that brings you closer to your goals and unfollowing people that make you feel guilty about your goals or make you second guess what you're pursuing. Get rid of those people, not as friends, just in your feed, and fill it with people who are going to teach you new things and really help you get to where you want to be.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So, how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
We know New Year's resolutions often don't stick. In fact, on average, they last around 30 days. So if saving money is on your 2024 resolution list, here's a foolproof way to stick to yours.
Switch your phone provider to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month.
For those of you paying close to $40 a month for just one phone line, this means a savings of $300 over the course of the year. We especially like Mint because all plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/frugal. That's mintmobile.com/frugal. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/frugal. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Our next articles, which there's going to be 2 of them, come from, well, the first one's 5 best ChatGPT prompts to use for money saving. That comes from Yahoo Finance. And we want to use this one to look at how to. It's a pretty short article. And then we're going to go off script a little bit by adding in a third article. We don't normally do that because both of these are short, we're going to do them both. The first article is going to be a how-to. The second article is going to be examples because, again, so much of our ability to utilize ChatGPT to its fullest is our ability to ask good prompts. So I think it's worth going through some examples. So first, Yahoo Finance. They give examples of how to. And so they are really highlighting here that keywords are gold, that the prompt must be pretty specific, that we want to use when it comes to utilizing this platform for saving money, to be asking it for tips, strategies, savings. Using words like that are going to yield more fruitful results. So for example, provide me 10 tips on saving money while grocery shopping, or what are 5 strategies for lowering my monthly electric bill? By incorporating some numeric elements to this, it can really get you quite specific, but also when you list even a larger number than maybe even what you're looking for, that's when you can get a robust, comprehensive answer.
Yeah. It does matter also what the AI is learning from. So ChatGPT is super broad. We recently found a few different AI fintech companies. One of them, caveat that they've sponsored the friend letter, Partheon, specifically AI for saving money and giving like financial answers. Again, it's not a substitute for a financial advisor, but that also requires, it requires less of the right prompts, right? If you're using ChatGPT, you have to be super granular because it's processing information that's not just personal finance. But if you're using all of these strategies, yada, yada, those words, and you're not getting the answers that are right, you may want to try out like free apps like Partheon, Parthean. I should know how to spell that. That is how you spell it. It's solely focused on personal finance answers. So I'll caveat to that because the next one is asking the right questions. So as an AI system, the article says, ChatGPT doesn't actually save money itself. Founder of AIwritinghacks.com. It provides information to users based on prompts. So it says break down the questions.
So it can help to also have like follow-up questions, I think is some of what they're looking at with the break it down, that if you submit a response, it's not quite what you want, you can ask it follow-up questions. They're saying that sometimes ChatGPT can get lost in its own overload of information, making it harder for you to sift through the results and find what you're looking for. So you can even refine your question within that same prompt. It's not even as if you have to start over. You can then get even more specific in your follow-up and your request if the initial response is a little bit too vague. So you can follow up with the exact specifics you're looking for.
Yeah, I actually love that about ChatGPT because with an account, it's free, obviously. It remembers your past questions too. So you can always go back. Like if you get an answer, you can go back to that answer. Or if you like the recipes or shopping list or list of influencers it's given you, you can, and this is a side tangent, but you can click on the little clipboard at the top next to the, at the top of the response and copy the response and paste it somewhere else. So, and you can even give it feedback if it's a good or bad answer. But so yes, break it down. And something ChatGPT does really well is making lists. So that's another thing they say. So you can ask, give me step-by-step instructions, or give me a list, like a grocery list. Give me frugal meal plans for a family of 4. So I don't know how, when they're saying give me a frugal meal plan for a family of 4 on $100 a week. I wouldn't trust it putting in actual dollar amounts. I'm sure it's going to probably tell you to buy turkey lunch meat instead of a full, Thanksgiving turkey. Maybe that's kind of how they're using this. But I probably wouldn't trust it to give like actual amounts.
So this next article comes from ClickUp and is titled ChatGPT Prompts for Personal Finance. And I found these really helpful because I think one of the things that we can get tripped up in is, what do I ask it? How do I even go about making the most of this platform? So I think that these are really helpful, and we're going to go through 2 of our favorites.
The first one is, the prompt would be, I need to set up a budget that will help me reach my financial goals within time frame. It says this prompt is an effective way to create a budget that will help you reach your financial goals in a timely manner. I wouldn't go that far, but the time frame thing is important. So when you can specify the amount of time that you need to reach a financial goal, such as within 1 year or 5 years, ChatGPT can do the math for you, especially if you're inputting, if like maybe you want to pay off a credit card with a 25% interest, you can put that in there and say, I want to pay it off in 1 year. What should my plan be? It can do the math for you. So using that prompt ensures that you can do something, that you can get to a place that's realistic for your budget, especially if you don't want to use all of the formulas and stuff in a calculator. This, I think, would be really good for buying a house. If you are saving to buy a house and you want to calculate whether a house is a good investment for you, because so many times people will look at the price and think they can afford the mortgage, but then they forget about escrow. So taxes, insurance, home insurance, flood insurance. So PMI. So ChatGPT, if you're putting in numbers and locations, can help you figure out maybe what your estimated payment, savings, cost should be in reality.
Yeah. Number 3 is the next example I'm going to highlight. And the prompt that they give ChatGPT is, I'm looking for strategies to reduce my debt and improve my credit score over the short term and long term. I love this prompt because I think it's really short, sweet, succinct. It includes one of those keywords that we talked about already of strategy. It includes details about what is being looked to reduce and improve. So we've got debt and credit score, and then a time frame of short-term and long-term being given to the platform. I would even say, though, my one critique here is that I think it could be even better to put in very specific timeframes. What does short-term mean to you? What does long-term mean to you? But overall, I would say, yes, this is a really good prompt. And so ChatGPT then gives a response back on each of those details of reducing debt and giving examples of things that can help in reducing debt, such as strategies for reducing debt, making a budget, creating a debt repayment plan, potentially considering consolidating debts, and then improving credit score, where they're talking about identifying specific strategies to improve, such as paying bills on time, monitoring credit reports for errors, using a 0% balance transfer card. So different types of things being then given back as a result of that very specific, using a lot of keywords prompt.
Mm-hmm. Next one that I'll go over, it's my least favorite. It's I'm looking for advice on how to make smart decisions about investments and retirement planning for the future. And the advice it gives is just very broad. I think it's much more useful to ask ChatGPT specific things about investing jargon. So when I was playing around with it, I asked, what index funds should go in a 401k? This is something that we get asked all the time. I'm picking out funds for my 401k. What should I put in there? And legally, we can't give that advice. But ChatGPT is clearly beholden to nobody because they go right out there and they give you all of the index funds. And they're very commonly recommended on blogs. So, and I wouldn't choose all of them, but they are a great place to start. I also asked, should I invest pre-tax or post-tax if I have no state tax? Because this is actually something I wonder about sometimes. I have a strategy, but sometimes I wonder you always wonder if your strategy is right or not. So I asked them this, and ChatGPT came back with, yes, a very generalized answer, but actually a very helpful answer. So it says it depends on several factors. So not just whether you have a state or city tax, but your current financial situation, future goals, and tax brackets. So it gives the most important thing is your current tax bracket for most people, but then also tax diversification and future tax rates or future tax bracket and access to funds. So it gave really good information, and information I wouldn't have thought of all of this if somebody was asking me that question. Even the first one, I wouldn't have thought of all these index funds to put in a 401k, but I don't think you need to come up with 10 answers. So it usually comes up with like 10 to 15 answers. So another recommendation I might make is if you already have too many options, ask for a specific number of answers. So what are 5 index funds that I should put in my 401k, or 5 of this, 5 of that, or even 3. I wouldn't say 1, but I'd go anywhere from 3 to 5.
The final example I'm going to highlight on here, number 4, is I need advice on how to save money and build an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses in the future. Again, I've got a critique on this one. I think that we could get even more specific, implementing the tips already given to us of giving it a number and using one of those keywords. So I would alter this prompt to be more like, I need 5 strategies to save money and build an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses. I think that's going to give us even more specific responses and be just more helpful and beneficial. But of course, then the prompt is going to give different steps. They gave an example how it came back with assess your current financial situation, set a goal, create a plan, stick to the plan. And of course, again, none of it's going to be groundbreaking, earth-shattering, but you can really individualize it to you, and it can just be that helpful reminder. And sometimes there are tips that come up that we wouldn't have thought about on our own, or we can feel encouraged and validated in the steps we're already taking to know, yeah, there is nothing else out there. This is what the podcasts, the blogs, and even the bots are telling me I need to do. So better just start building an emergency fund.
Yeah, the best ways to save money are not sexy. They're not groundbreaking. Somebody asked me last night, like, what my best saving hack was. And I said, I said, go back to your 90-day transaction history so that you can see what you've been spending money on that you don't want to, so that in the future you're cognizant and you spend less on it. And then some other girl was like, oh, I do Walmart grocery pickup and I save a ton because I don't impulse spend in the store. And I was like, well, yeah, I do that, but that's not groundbreaking. So when you ask people questions and they give you answers, they may be at a different place than you. So they may not be giving you 100% of the answer you need. So I think that's kind of where ChatGPT comes in, is there's no bias in Chatty. I want to give ChatGPT a name. I know that's probably wrong.
Yeah, it's such a mouthful.
I know. But there's no bias there. So that's why they're giving you all of the tried and true things that work. They're not going to steer you into anything illegal or unethical. And I mean, it's just going to give you sometimes things that you already knew, but you hadn't been taking advantage of. And maybe you were like, ugh, I'd like to avoid that. But if ChatGPT says it's one of the best 5 ways to practice this thing, then I need to just bite the bullet and try it. So it's kind of good for that.
Speaking of tried and true, but also groundbreaking and earth-shattering, it's time for the Bill of the Week!
That's right! It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the Bill of the Week.
Hello, my name is Emily from the lovely state of North Dakota. I'm a relatively new listener, and I found you guys about 3 weeks ago and have been randomly listening to different podcasts, and so far I love what I hear. I do have a son with the middle name William, but that is not my bill of the week. My bill of the week is actually a huge bill we were able to avoid. Last Monday, our car died, specifically the transmission went out. My husband and I were so upset, but we had saved up and we put on our adult pants and we started shopping around online for a new car. We had even made a time and booked a babysitter to go and look at a new car. And when I say new car, I mean new to us. We always buy used cars. The night before we were going to look at the cars, I remember one of the episodes that said, make sure to organize your papers and read your warranties. And so I spent 3 hours locating our car warranty and read through it. And to my utter surprise, we were 1,000 miles within our warranty. That means the place we bought our car from needs to replace our transmission. So instead of the cost of a new car, we are going to pay a $200 deductible and be able to use our old car. We are beyond thrilled that we don't have the cost of a new car coming at us, and I'm so thankful that I listened to that episode. The timing was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing more episodes in the future.
That is amazing.
I'm shook. I'm shocked and I'm shook. Wow. Mouth drop.
This is an instance where we know housing, transportation, food are biggest expenses. And the fact that you were able to take some extra time looking for warranties and looking through paperwork is such a hassle. But you took the time to do it, and it paid off in probably more ways than you'll ever realize, because driving the car you already have saves you so much money. It's just the best way to save money on a car. I know we have an episode on how to save money on your next car purchase, but driving the car you have for as long as you can is the best way. So kudos.
This is wild to me, Emily. There's so many. I almost just want to call you up and chat about so many of the things you've just said. First of all, you're from North Dakota. Don't think I've ever met anyone from there. It's one of the states I've not been to yet. That's a sidebar. You have a son named William, which is amazing because that is the most Bill adjacent you can possibly get in being a human. But you just glossed over that for the more important factor of just doing the hard work, putting in the time to save thousands of dollars. What an amazing combination of bills. If you all listening have just the trifecta of kids named Bill and saving money and listening to the podcast and saving more money and living in states I've not been to, or literally anything, because we keep it vague. Visit frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us a bill. We get so excited about it every single time.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way. We hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota has them, with more on the way. But we also know a BEV is not for everyone, whether it's because of cost, range, or concern about finding a charging station when you need it.
Plus, the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero, Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future, in vehicles and in manufacturing plants, too, in the years ahead. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids. That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you. A hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV. So shop, learn more, and get details at toyota.com/beyondzero. Toyota, let's go places.
It's never too late. Never too late to earn a degree. Never too late for a comeback. Between your busy career and taking care of a family, it can feel like there's never a good time to go back to school. But your time is now. Time to start your comeback with Purdue Global. As Purdue's online university for working adults, Purdue Global is dedicated to supporting adults like you who know it's time to earn the recognition you deserve. You have the experience, you have the knowledge, it's time to get credit for the work you've done. You can balance work, family, and everything in between while earning your degree. It's time to move forward in your career, for your family and for yourself, with a degree you're proud of. a degree that employers will recognize and respect. You're worth this investment in yourself to earn a degree you deserve. It's never too late. Never too late to go back to school and come back stronger with an education you can trust. Now is the time for your comeback. Start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
And now it's time for the lightning round.
Pew, pew, pew. So, in today's lightning round, we are going to talk about how we're currently using ChatGPT or would use ChatGPT to save money. Jill, would you like to go first?
Sure. I am currently using ChatGPT to help me write the friend letter. I don't know if I'm giving away too many of our trade secrets here. Don't worry, it is highly curated. ChatGPT is nowhere near as funny or punny or giphy as us, but they do get us started in some good ways. And it's helpful for me in that brainstorming process of content creation to be able to go to ChatGPT and utilize it in that way. But you should still get the friend letter because, again, we're better than the bots. Hashtag frugalfriendspodcast.com/friend letter.
We look at what the bots are saying to make sure we're better than them. We just have to suss out the competition is what we're doing.
Frugal friends, better than bots.
Better than bots.
That's some alliteration
wow,
for
that's
ya.
our next merch. Maybe that's the next merch. Better than a bot. Okay, so for me, I actually have been having fun with this. I love to say that investing early and often saves you more money on your million than waiting to save when you quote unquote have more money. So I put in this prompt, this series of prompts, just to kind of test out how ChatGPT could do this quicker than if I found an investment calculator and kind of finagled it to find out my answer. But I wanted to know how much money I would save. So if we currently have $200,000 invested and we want to get to $1 million, how long it would take us to get there with various monthly investments and how much I would save on that $1 million by using these different investment amounts. So just in general, if I have $200,000 invested, how long before I get to $1 million if I invest $500 per month? And so it explains this whole investment formula to me. I don't care. And at the end, it says it would take approximately 236 months or about 19 years and 8 months of investing $500 per month at an interest rate of 6% to grow from 200 to $1 million. And so it just keeps in mind that this calculation assumes a consistent 6% return. If you want to use anywhere between 7 and 10, which is totally feasible, you can just put that in there. I just wanted to see what ChatGPT would give me. So then my next prompt was, what if we invest $600 per month? And then it does it all over again with still using the question that I just put in, and it gets 17 years and 7 months. So then I ask, how much money do I save by investing $600 per month rather than $500? And it takes all the formula, compares the two, and it says my total contributions with $600 per month is $126,600, and my total contributions with $500 per month are $105,500. So to find how much you save, yada, 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 by investing $600 per month instead of $500, you save $21,000 over the period it takes to get you to $1 million, which I don't know how. It looks like I pay more with $600, but then it's just giving me like, now to find how much you saved. So I'm not reading the whole thing, but it says that I saved $21,000 because I get there quicker with $6. Okay, I'm investing less time, I guess. ChatGPT does math. I don't. But I like to see, this is how I would use it, is to do these complicated formulas and math expressions in a quicker way without trying to make different investment calculators work to be what I want. I would just ask, like, my budget right now is $400 a month for investing. When will I get to $1 million? And if I upped it to $100 in 10 years, what would I get? Or how much would I save if I'm doing $600 per month?
And you're telling it the rate of return you're anticipating? Like
So
you've
it's
given
just
it a
using
percentage?
6. Yeah, if it's just using 6% as a standard. But if I did it again, I'd probably use a 7 or 8, because I think even with what the market's doing right now, it's still at about a 10%, 30-year average, or at least some of them are at 7%. So I would probably use 7, put that in for myself. But especially if you're using tax advantage accounts, if you're not using tax advantage accounts, I would stick with 6. But that's just me personally. Obviously, I don't know what you're invested in or, what your money's like. So that is how I would use ChatGPT.
Is it good money, hard-earned money?
Right. Are you money laundering? Because then I can't make any promises about the protection of those investments.
Can't be doing it with the dirty money. It's got to be good,
Right.
clean, hard-earned
It's gotta
money.
be stuff that you earned. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like ChatGPT might be a little bit dangerous for you, Jen. Just too
think-
many calculations. ChatGPT is to you what my spreadsheets are to me.
Probably because
And
I do
they
spend
will
a lot
be
of
our
time in
downfall.
investment calculators. Yeah.
Yes,
and
you do.
ChatGPT has just made this a lot simpler. So yeah, I love it for that.
Simpler, but still time consuming, depending on how you use it. If you're Jen,
I mean, I guess maybe, but like for a normal person, like that just took me, 30 seconds.
and then I ran it with this number, and then I ran it with this number, and then I compared those two numbers, and then I compared that
Yeah.
with the third and fourth number. And then I never went to bed. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hey, if you don't already know, we have a Modern Frugal Living ebook that is free. We love free. ChatGPT is free. This is free. The podcast's free. We're giving it all away for free. So you don't even have to spend your good money. It's available for you all to grab all year round. And we wanted to give a shout out to this friend who gave the ebook a sweet, sweet review. This one came from Judy S., who wrote, "Terrific advice. Even though I have always been frugal, I found new ways of saving and ways to be happy, not deprived." Short, sweet, succinct. Judy S., I bet you write great ChatGPT prompts and amazing reviews for this ebook. So definitely check it out. frugalfriendspodcast.com/ebook.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't written when ChatGPT was a thing. So
But
you're gonna find some good, unique things in this ebook.
And ChatGPT doesn't have access to the ebook either. So it's not like they can scrape it for advice to give to you.
This is true.
We're better than bots.
This is true. Better than bots. See you next time. Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Siriani. Better than bots. Better than bots.
Better than bots. Better, better,
We
better,
are
better, better than bots.
Better than bots.
Bots can't sing. Bots can't dance. Bots can't tell you how to romance.
How to button up your pants. They can, though.
They can.
How do you feel about pants with only buttons?
No zippers?
No zippers. That's a thing
Yeah,
now.
I do
went
have a
in-
pair.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I refuse to buy them.
Yeah, I didn't have that same boundary. But I will say it's definitely annoying
Right?
for the amount of times that I visit the loo.
Right? Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't be bothered with putting them on and off.
I feel like you can't be bothered with zippers or buttons.
This is true.
It's athleisure all the way.
This is true. I'm wearing athleisure all the time, and I like it. It's comfortable, but it's not like bad looking athleisure.
No.
I think it looks nice. It's a up-leveled athleisure.
That is what athleisure is.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be all or nothing, Like you don't have to be a shell of yourself to wear athleisure. You can be fully confident. It can be both and just like The Nightmare Before Christmas can be both a Halloween and a Christmas movie.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with Cheap Caribbean Vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas, and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive Budget Beach Finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Paradisus by Malia Hotels, and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
Bring home Napoleon.
Destiny has brought me here.
The action epic from acclaimed director Ridley Scott.
What is your name?
Napoleon. You are the greatest leader in the history of the world.
Witness the rise.
You are nothing without me.
Of the legend. Starring Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Kirby.
I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I simply never do.
Napoleon. Buy or rent on digital now. Rated R.